Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the 17th session of the Podium TED Talk series organized by Asiata Digital Labs, where we will have an insightful session on women in AI, navigating hurdles, and making a difference. We are thrilled to have two distinguished speakers, Dinu Wijayaweera and Sajani Mayadunne, who will take us on a journey through the world of artificial intelligence, sharing their experiences, achievements, and perspectives on the challenges and opportunities in this field. Guiding us through this insightful journey is Dinu Wijayaweera, with a background in ICT and an MBA from Anglia Ruskin University, UK, who is passionate about using technology to solve business challenges. She transitioned from a technical writer to a business analyst and now holds a key role at ADL. Her diverse experience and academic achievements make her a valuable contributor to this session. Also with us today is Sajani Mayadunne, a data engineer at ADL's Analytics and AI practice, who is a prominent figure in the AI community. With a BSc in Information Technology, specializing in data science, she's made a significant contribution to the field. Her dedication and accomplishment in AI make her an outstanding speaker for this session. Now, as we delve into this enlightening journey, I hand over the reins to Dinu and Sajani to uncover valuable insights into the contributions, challenges, and opportunities in the realm of AI. Over to you, Dinu and Sajani.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our session of Women in AI, Navigating Hurdles and Making a Difference. I am Dinu Wijayaweera, Associate BA Lead of Analytics and AI Practice. And with me, I have Sajani Mayadunne, Data Engineer of the Analytics and AI Practice, who will also be presenting along with me. So now without further ado, let's move on to the agenda. So we will be talking about the topic, introducing the topic, Women in AI, a little bit about the domain as well. And also we would be talking on why we picked this topic. And then we'll be talking about several women who have accomplished a great deal in the AI domain and just challenges faced by women in comparison to their male counterparts, and importance of closing the gap, support and initiatives. And finally, we'll be talking a bit about the women in AI at ADL as well. AI has become an integral part of our daily lives because it's been growing exponentially, and it has this transcending power to transform our day-to-day tasks. And as an example, let's say one of your friends invited you to go to the newest cafe in town. So the first thing you would do is check the reviews of that particular cafe, and then maybe check Google Maps to see the best route to get there, and also the time duration to get there, and also the traffic which you might encounter, and so on. And like also, if you want to watch something, what you would do is you'd open YouTube or even Netflix, and they would already be recommending you certain movies or TV series as per your liking. So now you can see that AI has been involving in our lives in a large scale, and it is here to stay, because Statista and several other organizations have predicted the AI market to grow in a tremendous manner in the upcoming years. So that there's 740 billion US dollars projected in 2030 in the global AI market. And AI is also expected to generate 133 million new jobs as well. So what about the current AI market, current context of the global AI market? So currently, AI market is estimated to be 241.8 billion US dollars. And however, majority of the workforce are men, which contributes to 78% of it. And women in AI is only contributing to 22% of it. And what happens when people building the AI solutions are not truly representative of the society which we are catering to? So, as for one thing, would be the lack of diversity in the workplace can create an uneven distribution of power in the workplace, and this would create a toxic culture, and the women's voices won't be heard, and so on. But other fact is that it would also reinforce the existing inequalities back to the AI systems. And this would indirectly involve in catering to only a particular customer segment in the population. And this would also reduce the scope which that particular solution is catering to. So, and yeah, with that, it also means that it would be contributing to unjust outcomes as well by these AI solutions. So here are a few examples from the past. And I think everyone might have used most of these products. And so all these products have had certain biases towards males. So starting from Google Translate, it was found that it assigned masculine pronouns to words associated with professions such as doctor, engineer, and leaders. And feminine pronouns are associated to words associated with roles such as nurse, teacher, and cook. And also when they try to translate from a gender neutral language like Turkish to a gendered language like English, similarly, they associated feminine pronouns to only to roles like nurse, teacher, and cook. And then when it comes to YouTube recommendations, according to research from University of California, they found that irrespective of the topic or the user, YouTube kept recommending male speakers and not female speakers in most cases. And it also found that it recommended more videos that portrayed women in an objectified manner. And when it comes to the recruitment aspect, LinkedIn Jobs suggested and recommended more high-paying jobs to men than to women, even when they had the similar skill set and also job preferences. And so through a research from Carnegie Mellon University, they found that there's a huge bias towards males in their algorithm. And not only LinkedIn Jobs, there was an AI tool from Amazon as well. Similarly, they realized their AI tool was biased towards male, and so they discontinued this product. So those two are only few of the AI tools available in the job market. But so these are only like few examples. And when it comes to Google Speech, it also had 33% higher error rate for women, and it even increased the gap further for women with non-American accents. And also when it comes to Apple Card, for customers who requested this particular product or service, there was an AI algorithm determining the credit limit. And females, despite having similar or even higher incomes than males, they received lower credit limits. So how can this happen and why should we be involved? So the world itself, there is some inequality. There are certain inequitable access and there are certain discriminatory rules and laws. And so when it comes to building an AI product or a solution, when we collect data from the real world, those real world patterns and inequality may affect on that particular data also. And also, when we are taking data, we are only collecting a sample of data. And in that sample also, it might be, there would be sampling biases, and it would lack fair representation. So what happens when there's a human bias in AI development as well? So one thing is when there is no diversity within the development group, they tend to overlook on these biases within the data because all of them would be seeing in a similar angle, and therefore designing, testing, and deployment, they would all be only catering in the end to a particular customer group only. And even so, thereby the final product would also end up instilling inequality and even deepening the discriminatory gap once it is put out to the real world. So it would be like a vicious cycle, a vicious feedback loop, shaping gender bias in AI and machine learning systems. And which is why women also should be involved in developing products and solutions in the AI industry. So what would be the current stats for women in AI? So currently there is only 22% females in the AI industry as per World Economic Forum. And it also found that only 12% contributors leading in conferences were women. And from AI Institute, they found that for every $1 a male counterpart is earning, 66 cents were earned by the females. And when it comes to the tech industry in UK, they found that there was a decline in women pursuing computer degrees in comparison to the previous years. And yet, despite of the sort of the low numbers, the low participation and obstacles, there are women who have been breaking these barriers and setting an example for everyone in the AI domain. So let's start by few of the contributors from Sri Lanka itself. Dr. Radhika Jayasundara Abeveera is a director of data science at Meta, and she has been working in Meta for around 10 years. And now she's currently leading a team of data scientists that are supporting the growth of Meta's advertising products. And she has been involved with causal inference, experimental design, and also survey research. She's also an alumnus of University of Colombo and holds a master's and PhD from University of Southern California. And Professor Prabhani Kurupumullage is an associate research professor at Pennsylvania State University. And after receiving her PhD from Penn State, she completed her postdoctoral training at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and also Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. And now let's move on to global women in AI. And so first one is Pepe Lee. She is an accomplished researcher in the AI domain, and she is also known as the godmother of AI because of her contributions. She holds the position of co-director at Stanford Institute for Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence. And one of her significant contributions was the creation of ImageNet, which is a widely recognized large language visual recognition database, which serves as a standard benchmark for testing image recognition algorithms. And currently, she's involved with working solutions related to healthcare industry. And Cynthia Brazia is the director of Personal Robots Group at the MIT Media Lab. And she's a professor of MIT. She has pioneered social robotics with the creation of Kismet. It's the first social robot designed for natural human interaction. And her work has influenced and pathway to developments of robots for applications in education, therapy, and elder care. And next, there's Hind Azegru's. She's the EMEA lead for AI inference at Intel. And she's a computer engineer. She was also an advanced research fellow in MIT and was a research scientist at Spanish National Center for Cardiovascular Research. Shyamala Prayaga is a senior software product manager and in conversational AI and deep learning in NVIDIA. And she's recognized as one of the top 40 voice AI influencers. And she is a recognized women leader in conversational AI and is one of the world's top 200 business and technology innovators. And then there's Kayford Butterfield. She's the former head of AI of the World Economic Forum. She's currently working as the CEO of Good Tech Advisory, and her work in Similar conference in 2015 helped create the first set of ethical guidelines in responsible AI. And she's considered as one of the leading experts on the governance of artificial intelligence. And then there's Timnit Gebru. I think you might have heard about her because recently she was let go by Google because of research she did based on the biases of Google's large language models. And she's the founder and executive director of Distributed AI Research Institute. So in 2020, she co-led the Google's ethical artificial intelligence team until she was dismissed for publishing a paper criticizing the biases of Google's large language models. And some even argue if that was a white male in that position, would that person have had that same treatment as her? So I think now it's about time to look into the challenges that women in AI face. So I would like to invite Sajani to take over the presentation.
Hi, everybody. Just give me a minute. I will reshare the slides. There's a tiny issue. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah. All right. Let me start off with the challenges and go ahead to talk about the supports and initiatives there are for women. And then we will go into concluding with a question and answers. Starting off, when we're talking about challenges, I think there's 3 ways to look into it. One is the entry. What are the barriers that women have when it comes to entering this field? 3 major things that I found out through a survey done by the US Deloitte team was the social and cultural influence, the typical impact that has on women participating in such field. And then there's another factor was called the lack of campus support. In here, the survey revealed that around 84% of the women did not get any support from, or rather did not receive any opportunities through their career centers in universities to come into the AI and machine learning field, in which 78% also did not get the opportunity when it comes to internships. The other thing is the implicit biasness in recruiting and the lack of education and clarity regarding the roles in analytics and AI, or rather in the AI field. To start off this part, when we talk about the biasness in recruiting, just to give the most obvious example is having a interview panel of like male dominant interview panel does have a tendency of recruiting more men rather than women. This was said in the survey itself. And the other factor being, when we talk about AI roles, a lot of the times people look at it only on the engineering perspective. However, there's so many other roles, from product management to user experience to the data science and AI ethics. These roles seems to be overlooked or doesn't come into the whole term of AI, and thus not having that understanding or knowledge on such roles being existing also tends to makes women not come into the field. While working in the field, 2 major things, of course, is gender discrimination and the lack of recognition, or we call it Matilda effect. Matilda effect basically describes the tendency of women's contribution to science to have like overlooked or downplayed, or attributing it to a male colleague or husband or a brother's work. So these are 2 main things that kind of make people reluctant from joining in. Rather being challenged in the work environment. Sorry about that. Talking about the barriers in retaining them, one reason a lot of women tend to leave, it is said that within 10 years, a lot of women in the AI field do leave. Some factors is, again, I spoke of this, the differential treatment, the gender discrimination, not being recognized or underrepresentation, and of course, the managerial conflicts. When we talk about these managerial conflicts, both women and men do have management conflicts, 55% in men, however, 69% in women, which gives a higher tendency of women leaving the field. Besides that, some challenges women have would be the lack of female representation, as Dinu mentioned, about only 22% you could find in the field. Not having a proper mentorship or the correct support also becomes a challenge. And then, of course, the gender pay gap, it is said to have a 17% in regards to men. And then, of course, the biasness in AI algorithms that tends to leave out women when it comes to recruitment and things like that. Now I will talk about the benefits, or rather the importance of closing the gap. If you were to look into the economic benefits, it is said that you can have an increased productivity and innovation. Like a more diverse AI workforce can lead to increased productivity and innovation, and have a different perspective and experience that can lead to bringing in better solutions. This was said by McKinsey. And of course, there's an improvement in decision making as well. And of course, the IMF mentioned that there's an enhancement in the economic growth by meeting this gender gap in AI and allowing more women coming in. If you were to look at it in a social perspective, you would see with more women coming into the field, there would be a reduced biasness and discrimination inside AI systems. There'd be inclusion and a greater representation, and of course giving more empowerment to women and giving inspiration. Ethically speaking, more responsible AI will come into being. There'll be greater accountability and far more transparency, given that there is no biasness coming in. And of course, like I mentioned, it reduces biasness and any sort of unintended consequences. Okay, I would now talk about the support and initiatives that are available for women. Two major ones we have is women in data science and women in big data. I speak of these two because they have their international initiatives or international organizations. They do have chapters in Sri Lanka. Women in data science did have their first Sri Lankan conference this year, I believe in May. And of course, we have women in big data as well. So these initiatives allow not just, just gives you webinars and workshops, but also allows you to come onto a platform and speak. You could also be an ambassador. You could attend their workshops. You can meet many other female people in the AI and really be inspired. They also have scholarship programs if you do, if you are looking into other fields or higher studies. There are several programs that both these institutions do. There's also women in analytics. They have right now had 4 sold out conferences, and women in analytics does have one of the most famous conferences for women in analytics side or data science side. Besides that, there is women in AI. In Sri Lanka, we have the IEEE Women in Engineering. It, of course, supports all women coming from the STEM background. And of course, there's AI inclusive as well. There are many more organizations out there. These are some of the things that I found in particular rather had more, more relevance to this. How can you be a part of these initiatives? First and foremost, you can go into their websites and you can sign in. Look into their goals and objectives, see how it matches yours, and if you can benefit as you benefit others as well. Once you do register, send in an email. They will always reply to you back. Let them know. Sorry about that. Let them know what things you're looking for and what you can offer. You can always attend their events, the conferences, make this a networking opportunity, meet a lot of new people. You can also become ambassadors, where you could create or initiate a chapter here in Sri Lanka, or you could become a key member in one of the chapters already based in Sri Lanka and conduct events. I'll take a small minute or two to speak about ADL as well. Within ADL, analytics and AI, we have 15 engineers, and these engineers come from and they have different roles. Let's talk about Dr. Nusda. She's an architect. Chathari is a associate tech lead, which means a data engineer, senior data engineer. Hashani would be a senior data science engineer. Dinu, of course, our associate BA lead. They all come from different roles, and we have allowed in our company, we give the opportunity to women to come in, and they have the opportunity to really be grow as they move forward in the field. To talk about a new initiative that we were discussing is to have probably a Women in AI meetup here in Sri Lanka. ADL would be honored to cover it. We will be talking in future more about this Women in AI meetup. I just wanted to give a small notice to let everybody know. And hopefully with time, since you guys all have registered, maybe you could send in an email and give you more details to it. Right. I think that sums up our session. If you guys do have any questions and questions, sorry, now would be the time.
Thank you, Dinu and Sajani, for that very enlightening session. I'm sure that we were all able to widen our knowledge on the contributions, challenges, and opportunities in the realm of AI. Moving on, now we'll be transitioning into a Q&A session. So if any of you have any questions that were raised during the session, now would be the time to get them clarified. Please don't hesitate to drop your questions in the chat, and Dinu and Sajani will be able to respond to each of them. We'll give everyone about 1 or 2 minutes to share their questions. There are no questions, so let's conclude this session. So I want to extend a heartfelt word of thanks to our speakers, Dinu and Sajani, for their informative and inspiring presentation. On behalf of all attendees, I extend our gratitude for sharing your expertise with us today. Thank you everyone for joining us in this enlightening journey. We hope to see you all in our upcoming sessions. Thank you and have a good evening.